Greetings, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the podcast. The title of today's podcast is Hip Hop Power Politics, and while I'm breaking the system, exposing the truth. So we're gonna simply break it down. We're gonna simply break it down.
Let me tell you something right now. Everything is political. Yeah, I know some of y'all don't want to hear that. You think hip hop is just music, beats, vibes, entertainment. Nah, hip hop is power. Hip hop is influence. Hip hop is control. And if you don't understand that, you're already being played. See, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're repeating every day, that ain't random. That's messaging. That's direction. That's design. They shape the culture so they can shape you.
So the fact is, I've been a hip hop artist before I was anything in the world. When I was going to school in the sixth, seventh, eighth grade and stuff, I was somewhat behind. They had kicked me out of school 2 years because I was a bad boy. I did things I wasn't supposed to do when I was a youth. I was a youth. I lived life to the fullest. Didn't care about life because I had a young, youthful life and could do what I wanted to do with no boundaries, no stopping me or nothing. My mother stayed in Chicago. My father worked 2 jobs. I rarely went home at night, stayed out in the streets with the drunks and the crack smokers, weed smokers, and everything. I lived a lifestyle that most youth would want to live. But I always listen to hip hop. I've been listening to hip hop since Kid and Play. That's how far I go back in hip hop with the go-go swing and all of that stuff. Kid and Play. Some of my first hip hop records I listened to. Then I got introduced to the self-destruction and all this stuff. I used to have a lot of KRS-One stuff when I was young. When they came out with the chain gang stuff. So I've always been around hip hop, and it's always been political and power in it for me. And it always dealt with the streets, the hip hop that I liked and loved to listen to, which one of the greatest MCs of my era has been Brad Jordan, Scarface. I used to sit up and just consume that stuff all day. Anybody that seen me as a youth should have known what I was going to be when I grow up, or what I was going to be when I grow up, because of my consumption. I'm a born killer. You're face to face with Scarface. This is the stuff I listen to. This is the stuff that had my heart. I didn't grow up on lyricism, gangsterism, or none of that. I grew up in the South on realism. So I'm a person that's going to keep it real, irregardless of what you say or what you say. Just because I say I'm a Christian don't mean that I don't curse, that I didn't smoke, or whatever what I did when I was young. Now that I'm grown, I'm still not going to put on a mask and play a certain type of character in the church for nobody. I don't care who you are, because you done sold your soul to Satan or the beast or the dragon, however you want to say it. Don't mean I'm going to sell mine. Because outside of Brad Jordan, Tupac Shakur was my favorite artist. For us males, Lauryn Hill, my favorite female artist. We know her albums and what she talked about, but Tupac has always been my favorite. Outside of Brad Jordan, I had the Tupacalypse Now, the album that talk about popping police and killing police and doing all this stuff, the stuff that they was trying to ban from hip hop. These are the things that influenced me. And I've been greatly influenced by it. That's why I tell people, when I picked up the Bible, I said, I'm going to have to die for this. because I know people in religion, which religion is a power struggle in the community. They ain't gonna like what I have to say and what I have to do. I told people on my MySpace, I said, Black Hebrew Israelites and Roman Catholics, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem because everything that I believe in is against what they believe in. The traditions that I follow are against the traditions that they follow. Because I'm not an old school Judaite or Judaism. And I'm not a new school Roman Catholic. I'm an Israelite Christian, which is a mixture of something hip hop the world nobody has ever seen. And if they seen it, they couldn't recognize it because they wouldn't put their voice to it. Because putting your voice into it and saying I'm an Israelite Christian, as I used to tell European women down here, this stuff that I'm telling you, they'll kill me over this. You'll find me in one of these trees hanging and dangling because I'm telling you, Easter is not right, this, that, and everything else that the Roman Catholics then kicked to them. And sodomite and sodomism is something that should not be dealt with at all from a biblical perspective, aspect or whatever. So when I speak against sodomites and all this, and I fight against the hip hop sodomite creator Khalil Money and DJ K Slay, because that's who brought sodomism to hip hop. They brought 5 sodomites into Shade 45, which is the European boy record stuff and everything. They brought them in there and they pushed it on the community. That's why you have Lil Nas X. And I fight against that guy every day. Not K Slay, when he killed himself or died or did whatever he did to get away from me. And Khalil Money been carrying his hat ever since, trying to take me out, but he can't take me out. What he done did is messed up the Wixet program, trying to mess with me because, once again, I am a force within myself. I got a title that I don't use and stay all the time. I'm Israel Consigliere. I counsel people and tell people what they should and shouldn't do. I'm an info activist. I'm a lot of things because I choose to be these things. I've never been a criminal, never did anything wrong, never been caught for nothing or whatever, however you want to say it, until a hip-hop journalist by the name of Layla Wills brought her line, you know what, over here and started lying on me talking about I'm stalking her. No, you put my picture up on your Facebook wall and said that I'm a lover of pedophiles. When the truth of the matter is that you, Troy Star Terrain, and the rest of you cats that's been in hip hop, that's been knowing about Bambaataa sleeping with children forever, y'all then came out here and protect that man. That's why Hassan Camel blew up on YouTube in my YouTube streets. I'm the YouTube street king. Y'all have got out there and tried to make him YouTube street king. You can't do it. You know why? Because if we go to court and fight over it, Israel Dr. Reloaded got all the information. They took it down, but I know YouTube got the files. And I got the emails. The shows that I did speaking on these things. Y'all can't mess with me. I'm breaking the system because I'm the one with the heart. Ain't nobody got the heart that I got to fight a FBI Wixet Negro on YouTube like me. That's why I can call all of your bitches and hoes and everything else in hip hop like hip hop artists been doing forever. Yes, in hip hop, you can be known as a bitch ass nigga, a lying bitch ass nigga and everything else, and be known for somebody to threaten you, say, I'll blow your brains out and do everything else. And believe me, I'm all of that because I am hip hop. Here, Israel people have open prophecies. That shows you in that acronym right there that I'm all about Israel. My channel is Israel Doctrine. My company is Israel Doctrine ENT. Because that's what's going to entertain you, the truth. I don't kick no lies. I ain't got a lie. Never had to lie to anybody. You know why? Because my mother and father didn't beat my tail when I was young. So if they came to me and said, Kyle, did you shoot them? Because I was shooting people with BB guns and doing all, man, I done did some of everything under the sun. Meaning I'm intelligent enough to know about everything under the sun. It ain't nothing that I ain't tried. Now, you can go make some stuff up if you want to. Yeah, I said it blank. You gonna make up whatever you want to and say he ain't tried that. I bet you I tell you a lie if you lie. Because I don't have no this, that, and the other. But I'm gonna keep this short because I'm doing another show at 1:30. And it deals with the same thing. How I'm beating up on a government hip-hop informer that's out here lying to y'all and telling y'all, I ain't did nothing wrong. No, you was selling drugs in the community and you was robbing people, which is a violent criminal crime. You a criminal, you been a criminal, you went informed on other criminals, and you still been out here doing criminal stuff in hip-hop, YouTube, and everything. And one of your boss didn't die. And he was corrupt. The same way that the sodomite that started kind of intelligent and everything else. That's the power in the community. That's why Barack Obama told y'all need to make friends with these sodomites so you can get some power. Because as soon as you go to sleep, that sodomite gonna be up in your anus or trying to get up in your anus. I ain't with all that stuff, man. I'm against all that. I'm with the cats that said, I got a gun over there in the bushes and I'm out here doing what I got to do. Leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. Get to acting crazy, so I'm going to go over there in the bushes and me and you going to have a problem. That's how I live my life. You can't make me turn back to the old me because I ain't never left the old me. I ain't never put them away. I used to try to explain to people, I got a card in my back pocket. And it's a fuck you card. When I want to say fuck you, I reach back there and I let you know fuck you is on, nigga. I ain't running from nothing to nobody or no system. That's who I am. And if you want to know who I am, come over here and listen and you can find out. You ain't got to listen to no liar trying to tell you about me. Oh, he got a pissy bed mattress and stuff. Matter of fact, once again, I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to go show you my bed mattress. To show you, to shut lying Negro's mouth. He dropped out in the 7th grade. You a lie? I was 14 years in school and I made it to the 12th grade. I just got tired because they was kicking me out. And anybody that ever been to school, and all y'all have been to school, when you get kicked out of semester, and then you go do the second semester, then you do this first semester of your whatever grade year, then they kick you out to say, you 2 semesters behind. You got half of a class here and a half of a class here. How you gonna make that up? How you gonna make that up? You missing first semester of math and a second semester of English. How you gonna make it up? So I did 14 years. I did every grade you can do. I just didn't graduate the 12th grade because my classes was messed up. But I done did, like I said, everything under the sun. All in hip hop fashion. Because there's a thug in me. And when I say it's a thug in me, if you know Tupac, you know what I'm talking about. I done did some stuff I ain't supposed to do. You don't even know about it unless I tell you about it. I told some brothers years ago a couple stories. They went out and told my enemies, because you know what? They always been my enemies. Because you know what? They wasn't on YouTube doing nothing until I let them on my YouTube channel. And that's how they got recognized. And then they went and turned their back and tried to destroy me. But I'm still here, baby. Y'all done destroyed these channels and everything. And I got them right back. Why? Because though I'm a righteous man, I believe I'm a righteous man. I ain't without sin. Never be without sin. 1 John 1 and go to the last 3 verses and stuff, and you will see that if you say you without sin, that you a lie, you make God a lie. And I won't make God a lie for none of you Negroes. Anybody. That's why the world hate me, because I've always been a rebel. With a cause. I have reason for anything I do. And like I said, if I have to, I kill too. And tell the judge when I do it. He was out there doing this and I laid him down for it. Same way I die. When they go to my funeral and you listen, they going to say, oh, he was a hell race. It wasn't much he wouldn't do or say or whatever. I was the first cursing preacher out here on YouTube. It's a brother in Memphis took the title, but I was already doing that. I didn't make up the title. I wasn't smart enough to market and promote like all the liars out here know how to market and promote and lie to you and get you to buy something. I ain't polite. I ain't all them cats that y'all done been there. I ain't Young Pharaoh. I ain't none of them. I ain't no good speaker. I ain't none of that. But I am the realest you will ever meet in life. That's something I got over any and everybody. Because it ain't too many real ones out here. So with that said, y'all, it's all about hip hop. It's all about politics. I'm in the community kicking Wicksec tail. Who else can say that? I'm out here shaming him for being everything that he is, just like I shamed his son. He put his life on the line to save his son. His son making money and you still out there working. You retired, went back to work. You getting off YouTube because Carl putting a foot in your anus. Out here messing with me. Because I believe in that standing up type song that T.I.D. with Lil Wayne and Trick Daddy. Standing up for everything you do and say. And I don't care who they are. They got to make you bow down. And I don't bow down to no man. The day I bow down, that's the day I'm going to the graveyard. With that said,
if you're seeing what I'm seeing, hit that like button, notification bell to the channel if you want truth, not comfort, and drop in the comments. Is hip-hop really controlled, or are people just ignoring the signs?
Huh? Please do as asked.
Peace. Thank you for watching the show and staying until the end. Before you go, make sure you check out the series 5K1 and Murder Doctrine. Those series break down what's been happening in the past, what's going on right now, and what's coming in the near future. If you stayed with us to the end, I truly appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time we drop something. Peace.